Hello and welcome to SparkUP, the podcast about creating and growing digital products. Our guest today is Sofia Vyshnevska, a co-founder of the PropTech startup Propertymate and one of the Forbes top 25 Ukrainian women in tech. Just at the beginning of 2021, Propertymate raised $1 million and recently announced the next round to expand to the next biggest metropolitan areas in the US. Hello.
Hey,
So, how are you today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. So, can you please describe me overall what is Propertymate all about? What is the company? What is the structure of the company, and how do you actually make money right now?
Sure. First of all, thanks for inviting me, and I'm really happy to be here. So, Propertymate is the one-stop shop to buy a new construction home in the US. Basically, that's the place, the platform where you can find, compare, and buy a new construction home. It's a totally different market in US, than you built, and it's quite hard to find them. So you need to go online, search for different new builds, and so on. So there are a couple of places where you can find them, but it's a very tiny, let's say, part of business. For example, for Zillow or Trulia or any other giant the real estate platforms. So yep. Basically, we help buy a new home for people.
Okay, and what is your current role on the project? What is your involvement? What is your position right now?
Yeah, great question. So I'm the co-founder, but at the same time, I'm the COO. So I'm responsible for the operations, for the team, for the product, and all day-to-day duties. And I can say that I do a bit of everything, how it feels. Yeah.
And do you still feel efficient and productive in this role, or are you planning to outsource something?
Yeah, I do. I feel efficient. So of course I'm delegating lots of stuff, and at the beginning, me and Bogdan, my co-founder, we did I'd say lots of work, more work. But now we have great teammates we can rely on, and we are working and acting as a real team,
Yeah, but
and that's
by the
great.
way, what is the team structure right now? As far as I know, everyone is based in Lviv. You don't have any employees in US, or you do already?
So yeah, right. All our team is, and let's say, is based in Ukraine right now. Everyone is working remotely, so we just implemented the remote first culture. Also, we have co-working places in Lviv and in Kiev, because Lviv and Kiev are the cities where most of our employees are located. But we also have the employees from Kharkiv and from Dnipro. So yeah, remote first culture is a great thing nowadays. At the same time, we have partners not in-house employees, but partners, real estate agents, and all of them are located here in US, in the cities we are operating within. So yep. And right now we have a new challenge. Yeah, sorry for interrupting, because we're going to hire our first in-house US employee. So yeah, great news ahead.
And what position will it be?
That would be the real estate agent lead. So meaning the person who will just be in charge for the relations with all real estate agents, with the partners and in-house ones, and and all of the operations regarding the services in our company.
Yeah, I got. But in terms of structure and positions, are those mostly developers or managers or sales representatives?
So we have, I can say that we have, we have pods, and we have marketing, product, and design. We have the concierge team that's mostly people who help you and advise you as a buyer where to find the home, and they're in charge of just supporting and helping in this process of buying a new home. And we have marketing as well, and we have like sales. I mean, concierge team is also part of sales, because we have real estate agents as a part, as a team, and concierge team, and those are combined is the sales, let's say, part.
But in terms of the amount of people you have, like in terms of percentage, how many of them is development team? How many of them is sales, marketing?
Yeah.
So development team, it's I guess around 30%, then 40-50% is the sales team, and the rest, I'd say, is the product and marketing and operations. Yeah.
Okay, let's step aside from the Propertymate for a second. And can you please tell me more about your personal journey? How did you come up to be a startup? Do you call it?
Yeah, so a great question. I really like this way of, let's say, acting as a leader. You know, at school, and even I think like preschool, I really love to take responsibility for something when you just feel that you can, I don't know, create some value. Of course, it's really hard when you are failing, you know, because it's also your responsibility for that. Yeah, but then I worked for a couple of companies, but the main thing I realized that it's not my journey, you know. I can't just be this small part of something, and for me, like, it's not the way I wanted to live. And after some time, I met my co-founder Bogdan Natkovsky, and he was the startupper like from the very beginning. I think like that from the age of 13 or 14, like he has never worked for any company, you know, and he just shared with me some feedback and thoughts and like the lifestyle he has, and I liked it. Like, I mean, and then he just, I'd say, hunted me for his product as the customer success lead. And I started just like right there. And after some time, that product, it was called like Brainify, and it was for the Ukrainian and European market. After some time, like we realized that we want something bigger. We want like, you know, the life-changing company. We want to create it, and we are here to do so. And that's back then we co-founded like Propertymate.
So Sorry, it's actually your first startup, right?
I'd say yes. Like, I had one more. Yeah, I had one more. But it was just like, you know, a very infant, let's say, and it died. It was called Tied Me Up. It was in the Hazari like sphere, but maybe sometime ahead I'll just come back to it. But yeah, like the big, I'd say, and serious startup, Propertymate, is the first one.
And your first startup just recently raised $1 million. So it's actually a huge success, especially considering that it's the first one. How did you do that? What was like for Propertymate to be seen and acknowledged by the investors?
First of all, like Bogdan, he's responsible for the fundraising. So, but I can tell you a bit more how it looked like, from the inside. First of all, we don't think that raising like $1 million, it's just the success. It's just like the way it happens. I mean, when you do something, you execute and manage the tool, you know, that makes you growing, and just it's far, far away from like success, I'd say. The first step and the main step was that we got into Techstars. Austin Techstars, it's like the biggest accelerator in the world. And that's also a great story because before getting into Techstars Austin, we were invited to a couple of accelerators, including Y Combinator, and we like flew to the San Francisco for the interview. We also were like in finals in 500 startups twice, 2 years, like, and then we were in finals, in Techstars, like New York, and we were not accepted. Like after finals, we were not accepted, and that was really frustrating. I think that could be one more podcast, when you're just in short, you just need to have practice, as in everything, and don't give up. You just need to have practice to get accepted to the, for example, accelerator. You need to have practice to raise money. It's just the process, and you need to be like very, I'd say, hardworking, and you need just to go step by step, get feedback, implement it, and try once again. So, and if we get back to your question about the fundraising, it's also just the process. It doesn't matter what you are doing. It almost doesn't matter. It almost doesn't matter what stage you are in. What does matter, it's how you communicate it, what is your vision, how good you are at fundraising. It's almost the same process as sales, for example. You need to have the pool of investors, you need to have the pool of connections, you need to just reach out to angel investors, you need to reach out to your friends or someone who just raised money and ask them for intro. And then you go step by step, and then, for example, out of 120, no's, you have one yes. And when you have one yes, you go ahead, and you have some small tool to work ahead, because it's much easier after having one yes, from the investor.
But how did you pass this napkin test or elevator test, or you name it? I mean, what was the selling proposition you pitched to the investors?
Real estate market is the biggest market in the world, especially in US. First of all, each company and each startup, I assume, has a very different, let's say, selling proposition, and we just shaped it along the way. We talked to investors. You just, you've got questions they ask, and you then just find something new you can tell the further investors. And what we have is that we've got the biggest market, which is still operating very, very traditionally. So let's say it's not digitalized. The market as it is now, it was operating 50 years ago in the same way. So and in US, it's just the market share of the new construction is much smaller than the resales real estate market. But at the same time, it's a very sweet point for us, for example, because so many companies are there, and due to the fact that this new construction market is very, very, let's say, hard to operate on, because you need to gather information yourself, you need to do lots of manual work as well. That was, I think, the main point. We can expand. We can create, the unicorn, and it's possible. That's not what we are just communicating, but in terms of the market, of the today's way of its operating and so on, it's just possible and visible. Yeah.
What did you have on hands? An MVP or some sales or some contacts with salesperson or agents or just the idea?
No. To the point we have right now, I think we've pivoted 2 or 3 times. What we had Techstars. That's the main thing we had. we went through the acceleration program in Techstars, and that's, I'd say, some kind of recognition, and that's much easier like to raise money after the program, like in Techstars or 500 startups, or especially in from like Y Combinator. But you have the connections, like Techstars network is like great thing, and you have connections. We had MVP, but we've already changed it, and we pivoted from that time. Yeah, and that's okay. That's not something. I think it's good when the product when the startup makes a pivot, yeah. The bad thing was that we've graduated like from Techstars just before the pandemic happened. It was March, and we just announced about the round, and the pandemic happened, and that was a hard time, to raise money, frankly speaking.
Has the industry recovered from that? I mean, by the time you're talking right now?
Yeah, it's growing. It's booming right now. The new construction in, we are operating in Texas right now. So our first city was Austin. Then we went to Dallas, then to Houston. Now we're going to San Antonio as well, and then Phoenix and so on. And Austin, it's just like the booming city in terms of the new construction. Tesla is coming here, like Google, Amazon, and lots of other companies. They are just opening, they have offices, great offices here. And in terms of taxation, this is a very, very compelling state. That's why lots of people, especially during the pandemic, they started moving to Austin and to Texas. And people from California, people from New York, who don't know what is going on here, who don't know what are the neighborhoods, the best neighborhoods, and so on, who just want help and who want a great place, one place or service to help them to buy a new construction home, since the resales market was stacked because people didn't want to sell their homes, because of pandemic, of unknown situation, and so on. And the new construction market just, exploded. People, the prices went up to 50 and more %. And that's why that was a great timing for us to be here.
Coming back to the real estate and why you chose to go to that market, because it's incredibly red ocean. It's very conservative, very overpopulated, very competitive, and considering you're a company based in Ukraine, all of those things that just form not the best conditions for the startup. So why did you actually did it?
I don't think that real estate is a red ocean. First of all, I think it's vice versa. It's just a big blue ocean, and it's easier to die on this market as a startup. It's easier to die from the just focusing on lots of things instead of focusing on one thing, because there are lots of processes that are so inefficient, and you want to to make them efficient from the all sides, and it's impossible. We are the company is based in US, so we never had the company based in Lviv. We just have people who are from Ukraine, but the company itself and everything is just operating from the US. Why real estate? Because it's huge. It's a huge market, it's something that you can make meaningful at the same time that the market, where you can bring lots of value. We're helping people to buy, to choose, to have the best deal, to choose where they will live for their next 10, 15 years, since we are dealing with a residential new construction. So where they will raise their kids, where the kids will go to school, where they have, the bad days and the good days and all that stuff. And that's something like purposeful. Like, I
That's
mean,
such a big deal for
you're
everyone.
bringing, you're bringing a great thing. And when I just hear the feedback, for example, from our buyers, how helpful we were, like that, so great that there is one place where you can find, the new builds from different builders and in a great interface, and it helped them buy very, very fast. It's so, I'd say, nice. You're feeling so good, that
Yeah,
you're
it's
creating
inspiring.
something. Yeah.
So my question was, what is your main challenge right now? Is it building sales or raising more funds or development or marketing? What is like your main point of growth for now?
Mm-hmm. It's scaling. Like we we found I I'm not really sure, because you can't be really sure in this world, but I'd say this, that in our opinion, we found the product market fit. We know, where we can, from which point we can scale, and we want to launch on uh, 20 more markets probably for the next uh, 2 years, maybe year and a half. And that's why we've started like raising money already the next round, because we need lots of, I'd say, lots of resources to do so, and to scale so fast. Um, the real challenge that we have now is to hire people in US, because we are planning to hire the agents team, like here in-house agents team. We'll still be working with partners agents, but marketing and sales in-house we want to have here, like on the market we operate. And I see that as the main challenge.
Hiring people in the US.
Yeah, in
But why?
US.
Just because of the salaries or the
Mm-hmm.
market itself or pandemic or
No, you know why? I think because we've never made that before. Just because of that, you know, uh, because we have a bit different culture. As I've said, we've never made it before. We don't have experience, and that's something a bit unknown. So that's why it's challenging, but it's great um, because knowing something new, and trying something new, and I don't know, getting on board people in US, it's a great step forward. So as for the company.
so the next great milestone for you would be to help your sales and marketing team in-house in US, right?
In terms of recruitment, yeah.
Yeah, but
In
in terms
terms
of
of business, yeah, it's to expand to at least like 10 markets in US for the next year, at least for 10 more.
okay, how do you perceive real estate industry overall in the US right now? I mean, what are the key trends, issues, challenges? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what do you feel about it, and where is it going right now?
Yeah, it's growing. So, I mean, I can tell that, especially, our in our segment, the new construction, um, it's booming, it's growing. Still, the prices are going up, especially in like Texas, and people are moving, like fast, and they are moving a lot because of the pandemic and the ability to work remotely. People now can live almost like anywhere they want.
Mhm.
Um, and that creates that just people moving around the states. And that's why for such people, also Propertymate is a great like tool to have.
Yeah, but in
Yeah.
terms of business operations and technology, what is the trend? You mentioned before that it's like a very conservative industry and everything is still
Mhm.
done by pen and paper. So is digitalization a real trend, or it's more like from place to place?
there are a lot of prop tech startups just like appearing, I think, like almost every day. um, there are a lot of startups in the residential real estate market, also on the commercial real estate market, um, trying just to digitalize anything they can.
Mhm.
So the competition is huge, but as I've mentioned before, um, as I think in any other, let's say, industry, just need to find that fit, just need to find where you can just bring value. Um, we pivoted like twice, as I've said. We did the product for builders at first,
Mhm.
then for real estate agents, and just like year ago, we tried, we ran a test basically, and tried to propose our service to the home buyers, and that was a great decision. And I mean, yeah, that's how it operates. And all of the startups and all of the companies, they're trying to digitalize the market. They're just trying to clinch in it first somehow to the existing processes and to these traditional, let's say, way of buying and selling home, and then step by step digitalizing something. For example, that's great that you can like open door, yeah, like companies like open door. Now you can just buy and sell home like in almost instantly. You can just open the house for showing without having the keys and without having anyone to help you. So just opening it with the app. You also can do lots of things nowadays because of the startups, like PropTech startups. But I see that there are huge opportunities ahead in this market.
So I don't know if you can share this information with me, but in terms of marketing and advertisement, what tools do you use right now, and what proves themselves to be the most efficient and valuable for your business?
Yeah, sure. So in general, we are using the Google Ads. That where we started, and I feel that that's the best tool you can, test something, because it's fast. It's quite expensive, but still it's fast, and you can see the results like immediately.
Mhm.
We are still using, of course, like the Google Ads, and at the same time, we are just raising our organic traffic, and we are working a lot on the ACO, because in real estate, it's, I think it should be the main channel for the lead acquisition. And but it's a long game, to bring lots of organic like traffic. That's a long game that we've started to play.
Yeah, so Google Ads, SEO, you utilize some social media or stuff?
No, for now, no, because social media, it's more like um, it needs, like, to be efficient in our market. It needs lots of resources that we are planning to invest there, but a bit later after we will raise the next round.
Got it. So my final question would be, what advice would you give to someone trying to start real estate or actually any startup today at the end of
Mm-hmm.
2021?
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, good question. I don't know, looking back, I would just advise to not give up, of course, just execute, and just to start. That's the main thing. Even it's something unknown, if it's something like scary and so on, you need just to start and then go like ahead of the time, You need to be passionate what you're doing, but also very hard worker, because it's a tough and complicated path. It's not just about, going to startup conferences, just
It's a
speaking
hustle. It's
and so
very
on.
hurtful.
It's a very tough thing. And but at the same time, it's very, very exciting, and it's very joyful, and you're meeting lots of people on your way. Also, what I'd advise is to, when you feel that your teammate is not the one you're going to work with in the future, or you don't think that is good fit or like mutual fit, you just need to leave people go their own way. And just as soon as you, I don't know, make some decisions, yeah, even bad or good, just make them, just move fast. That's, I think, the main thing. And yeah, I mean, doesn't matter what
Fire
sphere.
fast, right?
Yeah,
It's a nice advice. It's
that's true.
actually a very valuable one. Okay, so thank you for your time. It was very nice to see
Thank you
you.
so much.
Have a
Thank
great day.
you.
Bye.
You too. Bye.